This is my first co-op, and I have not gotten drunk ever. And I've had like maybe 2 drinks. One of them was when I turned 18 with my dad. He gave me a beer, and I really didn't like the taste. So I came here. This is my first time out at a club. Like Jack's in London is like a...
Jack's in London is like the rowdy. They have dollar beer Wednesdays. Like it's a bar. It is the quintessential bar.
Yeah.
All the bartenders and stewardesses are wearing high cowboy boots and shit.
Yeah. And like people are like getting up on this like small little stage and like dancing. There's like grinding and booty popping and I'm like...
So on and so forth.
And I'm like fobby and then I'm like, shit, I've never seen anything like this before.
You were talking in your version 1 English accent.
Yeah. I was like, what is happening here? Oh my God. Whoa. I was like, am I allowed to take a video here? It didn't happen.
Ashwin, calm down.
But so like 2 white friends took me. No. Yeah. And they've lived here. And they were like, we're going to show this man what life in London is really like. And so we're like sitting there and this like waitress comes up to us and she's like, what would you like to drink? And I was, and I'm like, Fabi. And so I have like things that I think are funny to say. And I was like, surprise me. and she's like, this man has not had a drink a day in his life. Like whatever I give him is going to be a damn surprise. And so she brings me a Sex on the Beach and I drink it.
$16 drink.
Yeah. It was not a good night. And
there was no beach nearby London, by the way, too.
and at this point, I have not asked anybody out in my life on a date. I have never like flirted. I haven't kissed anyone.
Yeah, you just did 19 exams the other month.
Yeah. It's actually
still
true.
Going through SAT fucking shit.
Yeah, like at this point, like girls are walking out to me like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, I'm still doing SAT prep in my head.
I is to this, she is the horny as I am to this.
Yeah, and I like she left, and she keeps bringing me like different kinds of drinks. Like I think she brought me a mimosa at one point. Like I'm like different drinks. She's like, "Oh, how do you like this one?" She's actually nice. And she's like a white girl and she's blonde. And at this point, I have seen about 3 of those people and I find her attractive. And I have never known how to articulate that ever in my life. And the guys with me, you know, guys, they're dipshits.
Yeah.
They're like, we're going to turn this into
Looking back, this is hilarious. Though.
Oh, yeah. They're like, we're going to turn this into a fun story. And they were like, okay, so you know the best way to ask people out, right? And I was like, no, I don't even know a way to ask people out. And they were like, oh, so the way is like, wait until she's done her shift. And then when she's leaving, you follow her. And then you ask. And then you ask. They're like, yeah, after she leaves, not in the club, okay? And so she like finishes her shift and we like pay our bills and they're like, and I'm like, are you guys going to come with me or no? And they're like, no, we're just going to wait here. You go, you do it. So me drunk on like 7 drinks for the first time in my life. I like walked down the steps of the club and she's like over there and like, I don't even know her name. You know, and
you're like, miss.
Yeah. And I was like, excuse me. And I'm like, I'm a brown guy that looks like this, with facial hair and a beard and I'm like running behind, or at least like speed walking behind this like white girl in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. when everybody's drunk, like all creepy like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, excuse me, miss, I just wanted to say that you're really good looking and are you, and can we like go? And she's like, at this point, she understands exactly what I'm about to say. And she's like, sorry, I have a boyfriend. And just turns around and walks away. And I was like, well, that wasn't so bad.
Did she quickly walk away? Was it a quick pace?
Yeah. It was like a shut down this conversation right
immediately.
Now. Immediately. Yeah. And then I like...
You turned around, they're laughing or what?
No, I was just like, turn around like quiet. Like...
No, the white dudes.
Oh, they're not even here. They're like, they're in the bar losing their shit. Like,
dude,
like look what we made.
Funny. That's the type of prank where you don't even see the payoff and you're just laughing at the idea of the fucking payoff.
Yeah.
They're inside like...
Yeah, and I went back and they were like, what did she say? And I was like, she said she has a boyfriend. And they're like, oh, what a surprise.
Fucking assholes. That's pretty fucking funny though. I mean, that's how it works, right? You got to get rejected and then we get into comedy, right? And learn to master rejection.
Yeah, well, if girls hadn't rejected me, I would have never figured out that it's okay if you can tell a joke and people don't laugh. That was my first desensitization to rejection.
For me, that same thing was the club. The club approach was like when I was like 19, we'd hit the club, and then the like 20, the older fucking like guys would be like, "It's a numbers game, boys, all right? You go in, don't commit too much. You fucking, they'll say no, yeah, they'll say no. What's the worst they can say? No." And then it's like a number, and you're like, "Hey, what did that? Hi, man. Okay, all right. Hey, what did that? I know. Okay,
Yeah,
that's where you fucking first learn a bomb in Succession."